man, I guess my last one this week is gonna be Plane. And this is crazy, man, because I remember, the wild thing about this, I remember a few months ago, I went to see a movie, and this trailer played in the movie, and dude, I was in the movie right before the movie was starting, so this trailer played, and I was like, man, I gotta send this to Corny and Bob. So, dude, I went looking on YouTube, and I could not find the trailer anywhere. I was like, yo, how the hell is this trailer playing in the theater? But I can't find this thing on YouTube yet. So, I guess eventually it came out on YouTube, and it started playing in the front of more theaters. But in this film, pilot Brodie Torrance. Brodie Torrance. That's such an 80s name. Yeah, this film is such an 80s film. But he saves passengers from a lightning strike by making a risky landing on a war-torn island, only to find that surviving the landing was just the beginning. When dangerous rebels take most of the passengers hostage, the only person Torrance can count on for help is Louis Gaspare, an accused murderer who is being transported by the FBI. And I do want to point out that Louis Gaspare is a member of the French Foreign Legion.
Okay.
Dude, like, I don't know if you're familiar with the French Foreign Legion trope, but that's what you add to the movie when you run out of ideas to make the background for your character. It's almost like Lionheart. Yeah. Remember the Van Damme movie? Lionheart had escaped from the French Foreign Legion. Yeah. So already, man,
it's a way of explaining somebody should be a badass without tying them up in, like, you know, they were in Nam or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's like or they join the Merchant Marines or something like that.
Yeah.
And basically, according to these movies, I don't know if it's real, but they say they no questions asked. They'll let you join them.
Yeah.
So this is where people go to hide away from their past life. So
learn how to kick some ass more. You know?
yeah. So they're already a badass. But it's funny in this because Gerard Butler, he's just a regular airplane pilot who somehow is good with a gun and can fight pretty decently. So Gerard Butler is Brodie Torrance. We also got Mike Coulter, who's the French Foreign Legion guy, Louis Gaspare, who's French sounding name, but he don't speak no French accent. We also get a bunch of passengers. That's what most of the rest of this cast is. Larry Krug, Danielle Pineda, Tony Goldwyn, Remy Adeleke, Yosan An. These are, you know what's messed up about this? Also, we get Paul Ben Victor as well in this film. And Joey Slotnick. So I'm recognizing him as well. But what's messing me up is this main cast highlighted here. They don't show any of the bad guys, who I thought were interesting because essentially the plane crash lands in this remote island in the Philippines, is run by these militant radicals, and their whole thing is just kidnapping whoever they can and holding them ransom. So they realize they got a plane that landed, and it's a plane full of people that they can ransom. They just gonna, make you make the ransom tape. So they crash land or whatever, saves the characters. It's funny because he lands his plane, and even that was entertaining to me, man. This thing is low budget like hell. It feels like something you would have rented on VHS in the 80s, but it's so entertaining, Courtney, man. Like I didn't think this thing was, I was like, all right, man, there's 50-50 chance I'm going to enjoy this, but I really enjoyed it, man. Like, I can't explain
really?
It. It has the energy of a Speed or something like that. But so the funny thing is, Michael Coulter's character is being transported on a plane as a prisoner. And during the crash and the turbulence, his handler gets killed. He dies in the plane crash, but he's still in handcuffs. So they're like, "What do we do with him?" And then Gerard Butler's like, "Man, I think we need everybody we can get. Like, worst case scenario, he runs off into the woods and we don't gotta worry about him, or whatever, because they don't, And he uncuffs him. So Gerard Butler ends up. They realize that maybe if we could get to a radio and communicate, because they kind of figure out where they are, so they realize that they're in a dangerous territory. So he's like, all right, I'm gonna go see if I can find a radio, and you're coming with me. So they take off together, and it's just like he predicted. Like they're walking along talking, so where you from? That's where we get the French Foreign Legion story. And he turns around 1 minute, and Michael Coulter's gone. So then, what's our man's name? Brodie. The name is killing me, dude. Yeah, Brodie finally gets to a radio tower. He gets on the phone. He calls for help, and then he gets attacked by the locals, man. And yo, this is the crazy part about this film. This is another thing to entertain. The action in this film, I wrote it was delightfully brutal. It reminded me of Extraction with Liam Hemsworth. Yeah. Or did I say the right one? Because I know it's Liam and Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, Chris is
the Thor. Okay. Yeah, it's Chris Hemsworth. So it's that level of brutal, man. And it's funny to me. Like I said, man, this guy, for all we know, he's just a pilot. He's like a Delta pilot, and I think he got demoted to flying these low class routes because he had an incident. I think he fought a passenger, but he has no military training. So, dude, the first fight is insane. It's not like he's struggling, and you know what's crazy about it? It's got these MMA elements. I had to applaud it, man. It's great. And then last minute, more dudes come, and then Michael Coulter shows back up, and all of a sudden, Coulter's got all the guns. I guess he found some dudes and jumped them, so he's gonna be a good guy. He's helping them get out of here, and it just goes from there, man. This thing is, I had a blast watching this. This balls to the walls. The brutality of the action, man, it stands out here, man. Dudes is getting fucked up, and it's got the trope, man. You got, they're fighting, they're beating up all the brown people, so. But what did you gonna do, man? It's the Philippines, everybody's brown, it is what it is. But dude, the fighting, it works, man. It doesn't overstay its welcome. It's lean and it's mean. It's low budget, but they put the money where they needed it to. And I had a blast watching this. I'd watch it again. If it's a dry week and I really want to go to the movies this week, I would sit through this again, dude.
I might pick this out, but like I'm telling you, Corey, I saw the trailer for this, and they pretty much told you everything that's gonna happen in this film in the trailer.
It is.
Anytime a film does that, I just kind of roll my eyes. It's like, there's no way I'm going to see this. But you are the third person that I know that kind of said good things about it. So
yeah, I knew what was going to happen, but sometimes it's worth seeing how it goes down, and it went down. Put it this way, man. This is a VHS rental back in the day that just happened to be good. This is just it's not quite
Max,
It's like a Commando or Action Jackson. It's just it's not reinventing the wheel or nothing, but you're gonna have a good time, yo. Okay. And like I said, it's short enough, man, and it's just wild. I think Rod Blackout Tips, he would call this the impossible white man type of action movie, where it's just how is this happening? But it's just it's an action, it's a dumb action movie, and it's one of the dumbest, and it's one of the actioniest. There's just nutty stuff taking place in this thing, man, and I loved it, man. I loved it. I had a good time, dude. I had a good time watching it, man. Yeah, that's my recommendation, man. The things that are out right now, I think we reviewed Otto last week. I think Otto is probably the best of the newer films that's out this week. And The Plane is damn good. If you got to see something right now in the theater, you've already seen Avatar, go see Otto, go see Plane, or go see Megan, man. You're going to have a good time, man. You're going to have a good time. I can guarantee you that, man. Especially if you're the type of film viewer that's like me, man. and you know what's funny about this too is I feel like years ago this film we have a different Gerard Butler in this, but this feels like this is like a John McClane stage Gerard Butler, where he's not total badass anymore, but he's more like an everyman in this movie. That's what it feels like.
Okay. That's
all that makes sense, man. Even the ending, man, it could possibly be a sequel, and I would probably go see